Hey guys, how's it going? I want to talk about something today that, I've talked about in the past before in little bits and pieces, but I really wanted to get down to how I had my panniculectomy and the steps I went through to have my reconstructive surgery, plastic surgery, however you want to put it. So let's get started. So the first step was I actually saw my nurse practitioner in bariatrics, and she suggested that I go and see the because it was about I was about a year out from having gastric bypass, um, and if you don't know, I will put a link to me having gastric bypass and some of the beginning of that up above. But yeah, I had a panniculectomy October 2014. Was it 2014, in October 2014. I had a panniculectomy. So it was a little over a year out from my gastric bypass, and I saw my nurse practitioner, and she told me that she gave me a referral to the plastic surgeon that they had there at my hospital. She had heard really good things about him, and I was all for it. I at first didn't take it, but then I thought, well, why not? Why not go and see what he has to say? Because at this point, I had a lot of skin that was hanging down, and I will show pictures at the end here. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and I'll show pictures at the end. But so basically, I made an appointment with him, went to see him. My expectations were not high at that point. I was still about 400 pounds. So I had heard, other people talk about how they had to get down to a certain weight. So I really wasn't that hopeful. So I went and I talked to him, and basically he just wanted to know, like, what my background was, what happened, why, what's going on, why all this loose skin. So I basically told him, I had gastric bypass over a year ago. I weighed, 560 pounds. I now weigh this. I had my surgery, and yeah, and I'm in a lot of pain. I have rashes, so he basically, and it's different for everybody. All plastic surgeons are going to be different, but he basically had me undress and looked at my stomach. He lifted up my pannus, that bottom part of your stomach, if you're not sure what a pannus is. He lifted that up, and he said, wow, it's really heavy, and it's, there was rashes. Actually, I did have rashes underneath. So he looked at it, and right away, without even a second guess, he was like, okay, you need to have that removed as soon as possible. It is just going to continue. The more weight you lose, the more it's going to cause you problems. And I was like, oh, I so agree. So I wasn't sure if my insurance was going to pay for it. Now, I do have Medicaid, and so it is insurance through the state, so we really weren't sure how it was going to work. So he actually had to talk to the people who do his, the insurance part of it, and they said it was kind of a 50-50 chance that I would get it covered. Okay, well, at least I had some kind of chance. So, he wrote a letter. He got, I actually got a letter. Did I get a letter? No, I didn't get no letters. But, and I actually, my plastic surgeon was really amazing. Like, he was really amazing. He was a wonderful, he actually did, I've had 3 plastic surgeries, which I will go into depth more on the other ones, but right now I'm just talking about the panniculectomy. But he did all 3 of my surgeries, so he was a wonderful surgeon. So we went through the process of, he had to do all the paperwork, of course, put everything in, get my, medical records and all that stuff. So, I had the hospital that I had my RNY in, the hospital that I see all my doctors in, was the hospital that he was in. So it was really easy that way. So he basically, what we did was that same day, he took pictures, like literally, like he took pictures of my, my stomach, and, you know, and all kinds of different pictures. I had to lift it up, turn to the side, turn to this side, front, you know, and all kinds of craziness. But we got pictures, and so then the next step was waiting for insurance approval. Now, I really wasn't sure how it was going to go. They said it could take, you know, up to a month to find out from my insurance. You know, every insurance is different. Every state is different with their state insurance, you know. So it really just depended on everything. So I waited, and I think it was about 2 weeks later, I actually did get a call from my surgeon's office saying that my surgery was approved. Now, I have heard that other people have to do an appeal, and I will get into the appeal on my next one, because the next surgery is the one that I had to appeal, but we'll get into that later. So I got approved. We scheduled surgery. Like I said, it was in October. I can't remember the exact date right now, but it was in October. And so, my surgery was like 4 hours. It was 4 hours. And I went in, I was scared. I was very scared because I had only had, oh yeah, I was scared. Sorry about that. I had only had, I had a cesarean, a C-section, like 20-something years ago, 21 years ago. And then, I had my RNY, which, it was an open RNY, and it was very scary. So, anyway, I was really scared about having surgery, because my biggest fear was waking up during surgery. I was like, oh my gosh, what if I wake up? But that wasn't the case. I assure you that was not the case. But one thing I do want to say, you know, about the whole process is ask questions. Ask so many questions. Like, whatever questions that you have, ask them. There is no question that is too, you know, I know at first I was like, I don't want to ask that. Probably going to sound like I'm dumb or something. But no, never. No question is, you know, is out of the question, really. You know, they will answer anything. So everything went smoothly. I had to be there early in the morning. My surgeon explained to me that because I have had sleep apnea, I've had breathing problems in the past, and coming out of surgery with my gastric bypass, I had trouble with my breathing, that he wanted to keep me in the hospital overnight. Usually they send you home the same day after a few hours after you know, are in recovery for a while. But with me, since I'm like more of a higher risk of, you know, breathing problems and stuff like that, he wanted to keep me, just to monitor me, overnight. So I stayed in overnight. I mean, the surgery went well. He removed 30 pounds of skin and tissue and everything. And I will include pictures at the end. So if you don't want to see them, if you're grossed out very easily, I would just, you know, bypass the pictures. But I do have a picture, because I did request from him. I actually did purchase a disposable camera, because I had heard some people will give a disposable camera to the doctor and they will take pictures for them. Well, he said he doesn't do that, but he would take pictures with his phone, you know, his phone or whatever. He takes his own pictures. So I requested him to take a picture and send it to me, you know, later on and stuff. So he definitely did do that. So he was great about that. Like I said, no question is out of the question. So, yeah, I stayed in the hospital. Everything went pretty smoothly. Well, let's go back a touch. When I woke up out of surgery, I I actually do wake up pretty well out of surgery, and it was odd. Let me just say the least. It was very strange for me. I'm so used to having a my Panna sit on my legs and just cause a lot of issues. I know this is going to be a little much, but when I would use the bathroom, I would have to kind of like move my stomach off to the side because it just got in the way. It got in the way of everything. And so once I was awake and coherent, I said, I have to use the bathroom. And so they let me up, and the nurse actually forgot to lock the bed. So when I got up out of bed, it slid. I almost fell, and she freaked out. I was like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I did not fall. I'm okay. So I went to the bathroom, and using the bathroom after a panniculectomy the first time was the weirdest thing. It's just like, what's going on? Where is that part? I mean, it took a lot of getting used to not having it anymore. So right afterwards, I weighed myself, and I was 30 pounds less. It did weigh 30 pounds that he removed. So yeah, so I stayed in the hospital. I did not have okay, so some people have binders. I did not have a binder at all. He said, if you don't need a binder, you don't need any of that. If you want one, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. So I did not have a binder. I had stitches and glue on my incision. I did not have staples. Some people do have staples. I did not. Not for my panniculectomy anyway. So I went home, and I did have 2 drain tubes in, and so that was the very first time I had ever had drain tubes in. So I had to get used to emptying them out, writing down how much fluid was coming out, and it was difficult. It wasn't an easy thing, and they were after a while, the drain tubes get painful because they start pushing and then and stuff like that. But I was able to shower. The best thing for me that I did was get one of those lanyard that you put your keys on or whatever. I got a lanyard, and what I would do is I would clip my drain tubes, because they have safety pins. So I could safety pin them to my clothes. I would put them on the lanyard, and then that's how I would shower. That way they weren't hanging down. I wasn't having to worry about it, and I was able to shower right away. So that was a good thing. So I did have help when I got home. I had to stay in a recliner for quite a while. I was taking meds, and the biggest thing that I did, the easiest thing that I did was I had a book, like I have a book right in here, right in front of me. I had a book, and what I did was I wrote down what medication I was taking, what time I took it, when I changed my drain tubes, how much was in the little bulb. I wrote everything down, because I was on a lot of pain medication that I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I forgot? When did I take it? When exactly? Because I was taking medication every few hours for the first few days. So the best tip is write everything down. Even if you think, oh, this is ridiculous, write it down. So recovery was okay. It was difficult at times, and other times it was okay. I had visitors. A couple people come. My mom would come, and she would help me because I couldn't drive, obviously. She would drive me places if I needed to go, like doctor's appointments and stuff. And yeah, I just had people who were willing to help me, which is really helpful. I know that not everyone has that, but I think, and also another good thing I had was next to my recliner, I had like a TV tray table that I had all my stuff on, that I needed, you know, in arm's reach. That way I could just like grab it, and I wasn't like having to get up when, you know, I was in a lot of pain. The other thing is walking. Walking is so important. It doesn't matter if you just walk down your hallway, walk, you know, in your apartment, your house, whatever, you know, the sidewalk. I would walk, and walking really helps with promoting, like, you know, healing and stuff like that. And lots of protein. I mean, protein. I did protein shakes and protein bars. I did water, and I was like Jello, like sugar-free Jellos and stuff like that. But always staying hydrated, and like soups, you know, broth, stuff like that. Stuff that's really easy and easy on your stomach. But you know, when with pain meds, you have to have something like in your stomach and stuff when you take them. So that was really important. And I just followed up when my doctor said to follow up. And if I had any, you know, the thing is don't ever feel afraid to call the doctor. And even if it's in the middle of the night, if you feel like something's wrong, you're not feeling right, whatever, call them. That's what they're there for. You know, don't ever be afraid to call them, because that's what that's why there are doctors, and that's why they have on-call people in the middle of the night, because, you know, if there's an issue, just call. Just please just call. But recovery it did pretty well. My stitches dissolved for the most part. I had a few stitches that had to be cut because they were sticking out, but that was no problem. I just went and I, you know, did my follow-ups like I was supposed to with them, and there was really no issues. I had to be on, you know, pain meds for a little longer because my pain did last a bit long, but you know, they understood, and me just being very like letting them know, letting my surgeon's office know what was going on, how I'm feeling, my pain level, just everything, writing everything down. I wrote everything down. Like I said, get a book, write everything down, how you're feeling, how much pain you're in, you know, whatever. If you think of a question you need to ask, write it down, because you never know, later you might forget it. So it's really important. And another important thing I have to stress is do not exercise more than they tell you before it's time, because you could end up being out longer than you are supposed to. You know, I did not start exercising again, besides walking, until my surgeon cleared me to do so. So always get, you know, have your surgeon, your doctor clear you before you start like working out, lifting weights, doing any other kind of exercise besides walking. And then the last thing I want to talk about is how this is going to affect you emotionally, because let me tell you, it is a big thing to go from, you know, it's like one day you go from having all this skin, all this, like, you know, weight, and it's so much frustration, and you're so, like, for me, I was so upset, I was so sad, I hated this so much. But then when you go from that to all of a sudden you don't have it anymore, and then you have surgery and you're laid out for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, like, it takes an emotional toll on you. You know, you depending on how you do with surgery, depending on how you do with, like, just everything, you know, how well you heal. That's why it's so important to have, like, water, protein, you know, that kind of stuff. Having someone help you through recovery, it's so important. But expect to be emotionally drained. Expect to have those days where you just cry for nothing. You know, when you're under the anesthesia, like, after surgery, anesthesia really does some really kooky stuff to us, okay? And expect to feel crazy at times, which I was many times. I went through depression, not with my panniculectomy, but with my last surgery. And it was just hard. So have people around you who can understand and who are willing to help you through it. You know, have someone on hand that you can just call and say, I just need to talk, you know, and who's willing to listen and not just like, you know, like whatever. But it will get you emotionally, because when you go from, especially for me, when you go from being able to do stuff to all of a sudden you're just laying in a recliner or walking and not being able to do a lot, and then it's hard. And last thing, the drains suck. I'm not even gonna lie, they suck. But the important thing is to remember that they are there for a reason. Believe me, I complain so much, but they are there for a reason. And you do want these in as long as they say that you need them in, because if not, the fluid will build up under your skin, and then obviously it has somewhere to go, and you're going to end up with open wounds. So you don't want that. That sucks. Believe me, it sucks. And yeah, so anyway, I hope this was helpful in some way. I will talk about each surgery that I've had at different times, but here at the end there will be pictures. I'm so sorry that this video went so long, but I just wanted to explain to you, you know, the different steps that I had to go through and my experience with having a panniculectomy. Everyone's experience is going to be totally different, but these are just my suggestions. You know, you can take what you want from it and whatever will help you. And if you have any other questions, please leave them down below, or you can email me. My email is down below. And yeah, so I hope this helped, and I will talk to you guys really soon.